Hey everybody, Greg Rice from Nexus Property Management, and I'm not in the bucket today. I'm at the home office, and I want to make a quick little video blast to let you know that the landlord community via Rhode Island Coalition of Housing Providers showed up in a good strong force at Speaker Shekarchi's fundraiser this past week at the PPAC, Providence Performing Arts Center. And a little tidbit of information that's specific to PPAC. I believe that I am the only person in the state of Rhode Island that has a PPAC marquee tattoo. What about that? Can we get that? How about that right there? So, that was pretty cool. The general manager of PPAC, Alan, wanted to see that. So Gail, our lobbyist, got his attention, got my attention, and I showed him the marquee. He loved it. And again, if you know somebody who has that, or you have that, let me know. But I think I'm the only person in Rhode Island with that tattoo. But in any event, we as landlords had about 2 full tables at this event, and there was a fundraiser, a luncheon for the speaker, and nobody knows, he may know, where he's headed politically. There's a few options that I think about. Number one is my least favorite idea. Attorney General. Peter Nerona is term limited, so that spot is opening. But Joe to me doesn't seem like a law and order kind of focused guy. He seems like business, money, relationships, public opinion, inner working mechanicals. He's a mover and is a shaker. Yes, he's an attorney, but I just don't see him being in that role. He just, my opinion, knowing him. But I could be wrong. But that is a move. That's how I feel about it. Like, it's possible, but is it really? Next is governor. Now, governor to me is the most likely maneuver. He's already in the state house. He's already fostered the relationships. He already knows the inner workings. He has the name recognition to a degree. Do people in Woonsocket and Westerly know him? I don't know. But the urban cores do. The populated Cranston, Warwick, Providences, right? They do. And it's all about votes. It's all about votes. So does he have the volume? I think so. Does he have the money? I mean, I was just at the fundraiser. It looks like he does. I think he has, he probably hauled in about 50 or 100 in that fundraiser. He's probably at 3.5, maybe approaching 4 million. He's got the most out of any candidate, McKee, Folks, and himself. So that seems like the most likely maneuver. And I'll tell you why as well. I believe he's got his eyes federally on a U.S. Senate seat. But I think Senator Rhode will go one more term and then likely step down, leaving that position for Joe to run in the future. So he run for governor in 26, and Rhode stays in for another 6, and then Joe maybe runs again for governor, leaves office, runs for Senate, and at that point, Senator Rhode, he was born in 1949, so he'd be approaching, he'd be in his early 80s at that point, and that makes sense. So that's what I think makes the most sense. Or Senator Rhode could step down after his next term, and Joe could run for U.S. Senate and just bypass the whole governor AG idea and just go straight for the full Monty. And he's got the money, he's got the support, he's got the relationship with the delegation already. Because he's already working with them, right? He's working with Senator Whitehouse, Senator Reed, Representative Amo, Representative Magaziner. All of the federal delegation communicates with the Speaker, the Senate President, the Governor to communicate what's going on. We got this funding, we got this issue. They're already in talks. So if the Speaker decides to run for Senate, he's already got that kind of road paved, and also can mobilize, Senator Whitehouse's base, Representative Amo's base, Representative Magaziner's base, which is small because they're new, but they still have base and they still have a voice. So they could help him and propel him into that party, if that makes sense. Party being group of people having fun in D.C. And I think Joe, wherever he goes, is going to be tremendous. I would like to see him personally as a governor first. I think that would be, he's a young guy. He's got a lot of runway ahead of him. That would make most sense, and also is a nice natural progression. Because I think going from representative to senator, no matter how, you're the Speaker, you're the best rep of all time, that's a big jump. So I think seeing more from the top view of the state is good for you to then ascend into that next role, which is looking after the state from a federal standpoint. I think it's harder to look after the state from a federal standpoint if you don't know the entirety of that feeling, right? And as much as, like I said, you're the best representative in the world, you're not the governor. So you don't know exactly each and everything. So I think boom, boom, boom makes the most sense. But like I said, wherever he goes, he's going to be tremendous. And he's a great friend of mine. We've had a great relationship from day one. As soon as I met him, I liked him. He liked me. And it's been very good. And he's very, very open ears to the landlord community. He's a business owner himself. He's an attorney. He's very logical. And I think he's very fiscally conservative. And I think he's conservative on a lot of issues. Yes, he's a Democrat, but he's by no means a progressive. I think the progressives annoy him. That's my opinion. I feel comfortable. And obviously I am a conservative man. That's how I was raised. But he makes me feel comfortable. And I think we need to have that. We need to be able to look at both sides of the aisle and say, yes, they're not my designation, but yeah, I agree with a lot of what he has to say. And he's a great talker. He's very accessible, and he said that in his remarks at the lunch, and he said, I'm very accessible. So I said, you know what? He is accessible, but I'm going to email him this morning, and within 2 minutes, he responds. No joke. I just wanted to test it. I wanted to poke the bear. He poked me back. Okay, good. So that's my opinion. I don't think he's run for school committee. I think he's done with being Speaker. Speaker's a tough gig, very tough gig, but a necessary gig. That's how you earn your stripes. Politically, I think speakers become very, very wise, wisdomous. It's a gritty job. You're dealing with the whole party, and you're dealing with the minority leader from the Republican Party, balancing the progressive wing of your own, and just kind of merging that all together, and then whatever's going on in the Senate, or who doesn't like who, or this said that, or the news investigated your worker, or there's a lot of stuff going on. So if you get through all that, I think you've earned the right to ascend, because you understand and you know the street. You put your ear to the pavement, and he's put his ear to the pavement. So that's my thought. I could be wrong. Probably not. It's either governor or senator. Personally, I think governor makes the most sense. That's what I think will happen. But who knows? Or maybe I'm wrong entirely. Maybe he's going to quit and he's going to become a landlord. Yes. Once again, Greg Rice from Nexus Property Management. Your property and your political maneuverings managed.